offensive line, or excuse me, all Liberty's linebacker core this year. When you talk about, even though they're losing a talented guy like Joe Carter, Darrell Farrar is going to step in and pretty much be an every down linebacker for them. Micah Pollard, he's a Michigan transfer, came in after, prior to last year, after helping Michigan to a national championship, playing on their team. He got along out of a pretty slow start, and then figured his way out late in the season. He was Liberty's best player in their finale against Kennesaw State. So I certainly think that Micah Pollard's a guy to look at if you're looking at a guy who's going to improve this season. And then they feel good about Deuce Spurlock. It's going to be his second season in the program. Obviously, once again, a little bit of a change in the defensive scheme, but I think he's going to be a guy that could take another step up. And then I think their highest graded player on the defensive side of the ball was Delano Glaude, and he's a linebacker, younger guy, plays a redshirt freshman last year. Didn't see a whole ton of time, but I believe that he is going to be able to make an impact on this room pretty much this season. And so I think they have the potential to have five linebackers that they could play. But the problem is, you feel really good about Darrell Farrar, and so they're going to lock him into one of those spots at linebacker and kind of rotate around him. Now, where they might have a luxury is where they can get, Farrar. He played, I think, almost probably 600 snaps last year, maybe just north of that. I think being able to get him to closer to maybe 500, 550, so you're not taxing him, you're not playing him, as much as you have to, keeping him fresh. That's going to help everybody else be better. They're banking on improvements from, as I mentioned, with Spurlock and Pollard. Even a guy like Aiden Vaughn was in the program last year and saw his playing time go up and down. I think he struggled pretty early in the season, but finished a little bit stronger. So there's going to be internal development. They like the top piece with Farrar, and I think they really feel like Glaude's going to be able to make some big strides and be a guy that I think, if you're looking at maybe the most improved defensive player by the end of the season, it might be Delano Glaude.
So I mean, you pretty much nailed it. And for ours, 610 snaps last year. So like, kudos to you, you crushed that. You talk about the depth there, and I don't know. It's just kind of, it doesn't happen very often where we talk about somebody. Hey, this guy. Usually there's a transfer that comes in. We're like, don't really know how they're gonna fit in, and then like just like crushes it. Like you said, he's out there for 610 snaps. He's not there, but with this, it sounds like, like you said, it's a deep linebacking room. Is there a guy that we're not talking about right now that, could poke their head and be like, hey, this guy's just as good as Farrar?
Yeah, I think it would have been Glaude. The coaching staff really started talking him up at late in spring. He was really starting to pop late in last year. I think if you go back and look at the PFF numbers, he was really starting to come around when he was getting more playing time late in last season. And so he's certainly one guy to look at.